The American muscle car was supposed to be dead, but these 7 muscle cars are taking over 2026 to 2027. One is expected to smash past 1,200 horsepower and hit 60 in about 1.9 seconds. Another is bringing back an 8.4-liter V10 rear-wheel drive and a proper manual. By the time you hit number 1, you're definitely going to want one of these. Number 7, the OMG Javelin. Long hood, short rear deck, low stance, fastback roofline, wide grille, slim LEDs, wheels from 19 to 21 inches depending on trim. It looks like somebody found the original Javelin's attitude, put it through a serious training camp, and told it not to come back until it was ready to headbutt a Camaro in the parking lot. But here's what makes it genuinely interesting. This isn't being built for a tiny group of collectors who'll park it in a climate-controlled garage and never put real miles on it. There's a real price ladder, base models expected in the mid to high 30s, hot versions climbing past 65 grand, V8 trims pushing 450 to over 600 horsepower, with both a 6-speed manual and a quick automatic available. Think about what that means. A proper American rear-drive performance coupe with a real badge, at a price where regular people can actually say yes. Not cross-shopping exotic territory. Just a clean, attainable, properly exciting alternative to the same old Mustang and Camaro conversation that's been running for decades. The Javelin is the kind of comeback that sneaks up on you. And if number 7 is already doing this, what does the rest look like when things actually get mean? Number 6, the Chevrolet Impala SS. Real talk, not every guy wants a car that punishes him every single morning. Some guys want to gap a BMW on the highway on the way to a dinner reservation and still have enough back seats that nobody files a formal complaint on the ride home. That is exactly the lane the Impala SS is stepping into. And it might honestly be one of the smartest moves in this entire lineup. Big American performance sedan. Muscle car energy. Enough room to function like an adult. Pricing expected between $48,000 and $52,000, with loaded versions approaching $60,000, which means it undercuts a lot of premium European rivals while showing up with genuine presence and a full modern tech stack. Think of it like this. It's the car for the guy who wants his commute to feel like something, but also doesn't want to explain to his partner why there's no storage space and the ride quality feels like a go-kart on a gravel road. And that balance is actually really rare in this segment. It doesn't get talked about enough because it's not the flashiest pitch in the world, but the Impala SS is the one that quietly becomes the most cars sold on this entire list. The sleeper of the lineup, wearing a perfectly fitted suit. But if you genuinely don't care about practicality at all, and you want something loud and completely chest out about it, the next one is built exactly for you. Number 5, the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Big hood, V8 noise, wide stance. The kind of car that looks like it should come with its own sunset baked into the deal. And what Pontiac did here is actually smart. They didn't just revive the badge and call it done. They brought back the feeling. Modern chassis, adaptive suspension, performance steering, real stopping power, and a V8 that still sounds like the entire reason the car exists. That's what separates a genuine revival from a marketing exercise. Not just the name on the hood, but the feeling that this thing looks like trouble when it's parked and sounds like bad decisions the moment it moves. Pricing expected in the mid to high 40s at base, climbing into the 60s with the performance packages, which drops it right into the zone where people stop saying cool concept and start opening a second tab to run numbers they probably shouldn't be running. That shift from poster to purchase is everything, because a lot of these revival cars never make that jump. They live on YouTube and die in a boardroom. The Firebird sounds like one that actually makes it. Can you imagine pulling up to a car meet in a brand new Firebird Trans Am in 2026? That's not a car. That's a conversation that lasts the whole night. But the next entry doesn't care about conversations. It just shows up late, shakes the windows, and lets the displacement speak for itself. Number 4, the Ford Mustang Boss 429. Naturally aspirated, 7-liter, V8. If those 5 words just made you stop processing everything else, that's completely normal. Because while the whole industry keeps shrinking engines, adding turbos, smoothing every rough edge out of existence, Ford apparently looked at all of that, nodded politely, and then went and built something that feels like a fistfight with a speedometer. The design earns it too. Big blacked-out grille, shaker-style hood scoop, retro side stripes, quad exhaust tips, a low-planted stance with just enough modern aero to keep it grounded. This thing does not do subtle. It's the car that reverses into a parking spot at full confidence without checking if anyone's watching. Now, the numbers. Around 650 to 700 horsepower, 6-speed manual if you want the full hero experience, 10-speed automatic if you want the extra tenths, sub 3.5 seconds to 60, low 11-second quarter-mile pace, Brembo brakes, adaptive dampers, and a price between $95,000 and $110,000. And at that price point, the moment you hear this engine at full noise, the number stops feeling like a lot. It starts feeling like the answer. This car isn't trying to be the future. It's selling you something the future keeps trying to take away. A massive engine, rear-wheel drive, and a sound that probably irritates at least 3 neighbors before you've even reached the end of your street. For a very specific kind of person, that is still the whole point. That is still the dream. But what if you want less heritage and more pure danger? Good, because number 3 brought back one of the most unhinged names in American performance and clearly received 0 notes about toning it down. Number 3, the Dodge Viper. The Viper is not here to be reasonable. It is not here for the drivability conversation. It is not here to make compromises. It is here because Dodge heard everyone begging for the madness to come back and responded with a naturally aspirated 8.4-liter V10, side exhaust, rear-wheel drive, and a proper manual on the menu. That alone would have been enough. But then, the output lands at over 720 horsepower, with rumors of hotter versions pushing toward 800, and this stops being a comeback and starts looking like a declaration of war on common sense. And here's what really matters. Dodge didn't sand off the personality to get there. Low-slung body, long clamshell hood, venomous front lighting, side exhausts returning in modernized form, carbon fiber touches throughout, and a cabin that's more refined than the old one without losing that fighter jet DNA. Because the old Viper had legendary energy, but it also genuinely felt like it wanted to physically fight you. This one sounds like it still wants to fight you. It's just doing it now with Apple CarPlay available and a digital cluster, which is a trade most people will accept when the car also does 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds and tops 210 miles an hour. You know someone in your life who's been talking about buying a Viper since 2009. This is the car that finally breaks them, and honestly, good for them. Somehow, though, it still isn't the most extreme thing on this list. Hold on. Number 2. The Ford Mustang GTD. This is where the old muscle car formula gets sent to a lab, studies European supercar engineering for a year straight, and comes back looking like it learned actual violence. This is not an angrier GT. This is not a track pack upgrade. This is Ford going full send on a race car that legally has to have a number plate on it. Lower, wider, carbon fiber everywhere, massive rear wing, carbon ceramic brakes, deep hood vents, Michelin Pilot Sport Cup tires, Alcantara throughout the cabin, and an interior so focused on driving that having rear passengers feels like an afterthought the car didn't really want you bringing up. Supercharged 5.2-liter V8, over 800 horsepower, rear-mounted dual-clutch transaxle. The kind of throttle response that feels like the car read your intention before your foot even finished moving, and a price at around $300,000 to $25,000, which is the number that starts a fight every single time it comes up. Because that is not Mustang money, that is deep into Ferrari and Lamborghini territory, and that is completely and deliberately the point. This isn't for the guy debating between a Mustang and a Charger. This is for the guy who wants to pull up next to an exotic and watch the owner do a double take when he sees the badge. The GTD is what happens when a muscle car fully stops caring whether anyone thinks it's gone too far. And the answer is, it hasn't. Not even close, but it still doesn't take the top spot, because number 1 doesn't just go fast. It changes the entire ceiling for what American performance is allowed to be. Number 1, the Chevrolet Corvette Zora. This is the one that ends every single argument on this list. While everything else here is debating the old rules, the Zora already walked out with the trophy, got in a 1,224 horsepower car, and disappeared. Twin-turbo 5.8 behind the driver. Electric motors up front, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in approximately 1.9 seconds. To put that in perspective, a Bugatti Chiron does it in 2.3. A McLaren P1 does it in 2.8. The Zora is doing it with a Corvette badge and a starting price somewhere between $180,000 and $220,000. That That is hypercar performance at a fraction of hypercar money. And that sentence right there is why this car sits alone at the top of this list. Magnetic ride control, carbon ceramics, active aero that adjusts in real time, a cockpit mixing premium materials with complete driver obsession, and a number that makes Ferrari owners quietly open their specs app and start doing uncomfortable comparisons. The Viper brings chaos, the GTD brings race car aggression in a road car body, the Boss 429 brings the kind of thunder you feel in your chest at a stoplight, but the Zora brings all of that and then adds the future on top of it. And that's genuinely the unsettling part. The most powerful thing on this list isn't the loudest or the wildest looking. It's the one that makes every other car here feel like it's still running to catch up. So which one broke you? The Viper dragging a V10 back from the dead, the GTD turning a Mustang into a $325,000 carbon fiber weapon, or the Zora showing up with 1,224 horsepower and a 1.9-second launch that makes hypercars nervous? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you landed. And subscribe, because if this is what 2026 and 2027 look like, this car world is nowhere near done with us yet.